Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, I will be explaining you regarding indentation in Python programming language, flow of control, sequential execution, types of control structures, what is meant by decision or decision making, then an if statement explanation along with the syntax and one program of a Python using simple if statement. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video link with your friends and family members, share the video link in various social networks which you are going to use, gain the knowledge and rule the world. Happy learning. Indentations. In most of the programming languages, C, C++, Java, etc., the statements within a block are put inside the curly brackets, that is within a flower brackets. And most of you have seen and executed the programs in C, C++, Java. In all those things, you have written the block of a statements within a flower brackets. However, in case of an Python, uses indentation for blocks as well as for nested block structures. As you can see, while using if statement, if else statement and else if statement while executing the programs as well as while checking with the syntax. Leading white spaces, that is the spaces and the tabs at the beginning of an statement is called indentations. What actually the indentations mean? Indentations is nothing but the spaces and tabs at the beginning of the statement. These and white spaces. In Python, the same level of indentation associates statements into a single block of code. That means if the number of statements are having the same indentations, those statements are considered as one block of code. The interpreter checks indentations levels very strictly and throws up syntax errors if indentations is not correct. So if you give the spaces, that is an indentations, in an improper way, or if you miss the certain spaces in one line and if you give more spaces in the second line, then the interpreter of a Python will check that one and it will throw an error, that is an syntax error, if indentation is not correct. So for that purpose, it is a common practice to use a single tab for each level of indentations. Since using a space, you need to count how many number of times the space has been used. Instead of that, if we use a single tab for each level of indentation, the first level of indentation you can use one tab. For the next level of indentation, you can use two single tabs. Like that, based upon each of the level of indentation, you can go on increasing the tab spaces, which will be very much easier for the purpose of writing a program, and there will be no any mistakes with respect to indentations. In a program, there will be a number of statements one after the another. When these statements are executed sequentially in the order in which they have been written, it is called as a sequential executions. So what are the programs we have written till now? All those are based upon sequential execution. The order of execution will be in the same manner how it has been written, that is an sequential execution. The order of execution of the statements in a program is known as flow of control. The way how the execution of an statements is executed in a program is known as a flow of control. The flow of control can be implemented using control structures. Python supports two types of control structures. One is the selection, another one is the repetition. Selection in the sense here choosing one alternative among two or more alternatives. For that purpose we will be using if statement, if else statement and else if statement. If only one alternative has to be chosen, then we are going to use if statement. If we need to choose among two alternatives, two way of execution, then we are going to use if else. If we need to choose among many alternatives, then we are going to use an else if ladder. Then repetition statements. So repetition control structures. It is used for the purpose of repeating a statement or a statement's number of times again and again has to be executed based upon the condition or for a fixed number of iteration. Examples of repetition control structures are for loop and while loop. In detail, you will be studying these things in the next videos. Decision making or decision. A decision involves selecting from one of two or more possible options. When we have two or more possible options, among them one has to be selected. That is called as a decision. In an programming, this concept of decision making is also called as a selection is implemented with the help of if-else statement. In an programming, the decision concept of making or selecting is implemented with the help of if-else statement. The syntax of if statement is if space condition colon. You can observe if space condition colon. Then after that in the next line there is an indented space, right? That is called as an indentation. So press a tab, then it will give an indented space. Then you can write a statement or statements. How the if statement will be executed? If the condition is true, then indented statement or statements are executed. It means whatever the condition you have written followed by if that becomes true, then the indented statement or the statements which have been written next to the if condition are executed. The indentation implies that execution is dependent on the condition and there is no limit on the number of statements that can appear as a block under the if statement. For that purpose, in the syntax you can see statement within a bracket S has been written. That means it may consist of a single statement, it can consist of many statements, and there is no any limitation of the number of statements that can appear as a block under the if statement. The only thing is that indentation should be correct. I will open the Python interpreter to demonstrate the use of if statement in Python programming language. I will write an program to check whether the person is eligible to vote. So how you are going to check whether the person is eligible to vote? If the age of the person is greater than or equal to 18, then we say that the person is eligible to vote. So this is an interpreter. We'll create a new file. The shortcut key is Control N. So new file, which is called as in script mode. Here I will write the program. Hash Python program to demonstrate if statement. Python program to demonstrate if statement. So here in this program, what I will do, check whether person is eligible to vote. Check whether person is eligible to vote. So these two statements have written with beginning hash symbol. That means those are the comments which will be ignored by the interpreter. Next, we'll take a variable as age equal to int variable age equal to int open bracket. Within that I will use input statement, open the bracket. Within the single quotes I will write enter the age of a person. Enter the age of the person, single quotes close, bracket close. Okay, press enter. So now you can see there is one indent space here automatically, right? But don't use this indent space, go backwards, right? Then write if space age greater than equal to 18, then write colon. That is what if space condition. Condition is age is greater than equal to 18. Next enter. So you can press the backspace, then press tab for a correct indentation. Then here you write a statement or a statement. So here I will just write one statement, print open bracket within a single quotes person is eligible to vote, then close the single quotes, close the bracket. Okay, then press enter, press backspace. So that means at that point that particular statement as a block has been ended. Now I will save this particular program. I will press Ctrl S, the shortcut key. It will open a dialog box where you need to save the program. I'll save the program as vote. Click on save. The program is saved. Now to run the program, just press F5 in the keyboard. So there is an error. What is that error? The small brace was never closed. So here at this particular statement I have not written another one closing parenthesis. So now again save, Ctrl S, then run F5, that is a function key. Enter the age. So if I give 20, it will display person is eligible to vote. So this is a program to illustrate use of if statement. If we give less than 18, then it don't display any value. So you can check that one also when you click on run module. If I give 17, then it doesn't display any output, because after this condition we have written the statement. If that statement if that condition becomes false, it will be executing the statement followed by this if block. Since there is no any statements, it is not displaying any output. Okay, so if you want, you can just run once again. Run, click on run module. I'll give the age as 45, press enter. So now it displays person is eligible to vote. So this is a program to illustrate an if statement in Python programming language. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this video link with your friends and family members, share the video link in various social medias which you are going to use. Happy learning, gain the knowledge and rule the world.